The ultimate cookout starts with the ultimate ingredients. At Whole Foods Market, no antibiotics ever burgers and kebabs are prepped and ready to throw on the grill. Fire up a juicy ribeye. Grab creamy potato salad and savory flatbreads from the prepared foods department and round it all out with 365 brand condiments, chips, and dips at everyday low prices. Whole Foods Market. Make your summer sizzle.
Want to elevate your travel experience? Here's how. With a Delta SkyMiles Reserve American Express card, you can relax before your flight in the Delta Sky Club with up to 15 visits per medallion year. And now through July 15th, 2026, you can earn up to 125,000 bonus miles, so you're closer to your next adventure. The Delta SkyMiles Reserve card. Check out the new design at www.delta.com/Spotify. Minimum spending requirements and terms apply.
Katz and Cosby, entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
KT McFarland, former Deputy National Security Advisor under President Trump. And KT, right now, the sides are meeting in Doha. Is anything going to get accomplished, or is this just more dragging by Iran?
It's more dragging by Iran, but frankly, it does not work to our disadvantage to have this dragged out. The strait is open. Oil's getting through. The price of oil, as John predicted on this show, when everybody else said the price of oil would stay high, gasoline would stay high, John was the guy who got it right. The price of gasoline is down. The price of oil is down. And so even though the war is not maybe officially over, it's a very good thing politically for the president and Iran. Whatever Iran is doing militarily, we can, as long as President Trump can keep gasoline prices low, he goes into the midterms with a great advantage. And then, what is that expression, FAFO? I think that after the election, that if Iran continues to try to screw around and play around and tap around, that's when the Godfather settles all scores.
And how does the Godfather settle this score, KT?
Well, look, he's given the Iranians a choice. They can abide by the terms of the agreement, which are very fair to them. Outrageously fair to them. They just have to give up their nuclear program, stop funding the terrorists, stop killing Americans, and then they're welcomed back into the international community. They get their assets that they've held in foreign banks. Those can be unfrozen. They can trade in the world market. They can be a prosperous nation. If they don't want to do that, if they want to go down the road of nuclear weapons, death to Israel, death to America, kill all the Jews, have terrorist proxies threaten people around the world, try to close the Strait of Hormuz again, then the president has extraordinary capabilities under his control. Military, he could use the military option against Iran's remaining economic sites, against their military sites. He can use the banking capabilities that we have of turning the sanctions on. So Iran has a choice. Join the international community of nations by behaving like a responsible nation. Give up your nuclear weapons, and we'll welcome you. And if that's not your choice, if you want to do something different, we have another plan in mind for you, which is to destroy the rest of their military, potentially take out many more of their leaders, and potentially even to destroy Iran's economy, not just for a year or two, but for a generation.
KT, the big problem is the Iranian people are great people. The Persians are great people, but it's these mullahs that I understand that they're unreasonable, and there's 2 or 3 different Irans. So this is the problem.
That is the problem, John. And the 3 Irans are probably, on one hand, it's the Revolutionary Guard Corps. These are the revolutionary military guys who don't want to settle anything. They want their nuclear weapons, death to Israel. Those are the guys who were supporting the terrorist movements around the world. The second group is probably the mullahs. And even though the mullahs have said in the past, death to America, it's not clear. To me, they could be potentially the swing vote. And then the guys that we're negotiating with are the pragmatists, the civilians, the leader of parliament, the leader of government. They know they've got a country to run. So they want to strike a balance and do a deal with the United States and with the Gulf Arab neighbors and Israel. We'll see who prevails. But one thing that I don't think President Trump is going to allow is, if we get a deal, everybody wants a deal, and then let's say there's one guy with a shoulder-launched missile or with a drone.
You can't help
that
it.
He wants to. He could. That guy isn't going to survive because we're not going to let one guy stand in the way of peace in the world.
There's always going to be that one guy, and that's the problem. I mean, my recommendation to the president is to go in there and hit the guard real bad. I mean, don't go after the infrastructure because we have to pay to rebuild it. Don't go after the Persian people, the civilians. Go after this Iranian guard, and the way we knocked out the leadership before. Knock out the colonels, knock out the generals of this Iranian guard.
We've already taken out the first tier of leadership and the second tier of leadership. We're working on the third. But, we could do the fourth, fifth, sixth tier of leadership until we find somebody who wants to do a deal with us.
But, we can't knock off the infrastructure. We're gonna have to pay for it to build it up again.
So, KT...
And that's the mistake that World War I. The mistake of World War I was that, yes, the Germans caused World War I. It was a devastating war. But then the Allies who defeated them said, okay, Germany, we want reparations. We're going to condemn you to a generation of poverty and misery. And that's what gave rise to Hitler. And so, John, you're right. You don't want to have 90 million Iranians mad at you.
Right.
So find a way, get rid of the bad guys, and find a way to work with the people who historically have been close allies of the United States.
So before we lose you, let's go up to Ukraine and Russia. Who is crazier, Putin or Zelensky?
Putin's crazy to start the war, crazy to pursue the war. Zelensky, in retrospect, I mean, it seemed at the time that he was crazy to resist, but because Ukraine has been brilliant in developing drone technology and anti-drone technology, they were able to take the fight to the Russians. And when this war is over, and I think that this war will be over in the next year, before the end of President Trump's term, Ukraine is going to end up being a very powerful country because it has the one weapon everybody in the world wants. It's a cheap, easy, exceedingly effective weapon. And Ukraine, because it had to, developed the capability of building these drones in people's basements. And they can do it brilliantly, better than, millions of contractors have tried to spend, throw $1 billion after this, and we haven't done it as well as a couple of Ukrainians in their basement. So everybody's going to want
a new way to fight a war.
Yeah.
I mean, the regular type of war is going to become obsolete. And I think the way we watch the movies on Terminator 1, I think the future is robots who are going in and fight the war.
Yeah, and by the way, also the drones have been a huge help. They've been helping against Iran, too, because remember, they've been stepping up and saying, here's the technology that we saw. So it's interesting how they're all interconnected, KT.
Yeah. Craig Eaton?
We're all scared about nuclear weapons and everything else. And you look at these drones and this technology, which is so easy to replicate and manufacture. It's a whole change of the game here.
It is.
And it's scary here in the United States with that technology, what can be done and what damage can be done.
And the one-way drones, like we saw it. And listen, the IRGC is still using those one-way drones on cargo ships. They got one in the other day.
They wanted to use it in Washington, D.C. with the UFC fight.
Yes,
they were going to have
right.
the drones come in.
That's right.
And then they were going to have people with machine guns as all the people were escaping the drones and start just assaulting and killing them.
Right,
This is scary stuff.
It's scary.
This is scary stuff.
Yeah, KT, final words, honey.
4th of July, 250 years. We're at the cusp of a golden age for America, and it'll be led by a president who has just stood up for the American people and has the courage of a lion. And I am so proud that we are a country now under that kind of leadership because the next generation will be golden for Americans and, frankly, for the world.
No, and you're right. Thank God President Trump has the guts and the wherewithal. I mean, nobody has taken the fight to Iran like he has, and bravo, thank goodness. And also Venezuela, too. You think about Maduro and everybody else. He's put narco traffickers, everybody on notice, too. It's been extraordinary.
Well, thank you, KT, and have a great 4th of July weekend.
Thank you, KT.
You too.